Yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yay.
My goodness.
Oh my goodness. Are we live now?
Yeah, I think so. I
Oh
think
wait,
we're,
I need to
oh
look.
my God.
This has
Oh
been
my
such a
God. What?
chaotic. Okay, yes,
It was
we
a
are.
chaotic start.
Yay. Okay, okay. Yeehaw. All right. We're live, I think. Are people here?
We are.
I don't know. Is this, yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh my
they're
gosh.
there.
Hi, guys. Sorry, we took a little bit. We had some technical difficulties. Um, I'm currently out of a laptop because I'm rough with technology. So doing this on the iPad is not the easiest thing.
Hilarious. Yeah, Zoom seems to really prefer desktop devices for the full suite of experiences that they can provide.
Yeah, for sure. I'm My patience has been tested today. How are you
Telling
guys?
you.
Hello. Yeah, iPad baby. Somebody commented iPad. Yeah, I'm the iPad baby right now, literally. Because I don't have TikTok. I know TikTok live because TikTok is like one of the worst apps in existence with peace and love. I just like don't even want it on my phone. Um, okay. Hi guys.
Same.
Welcome to this live stream. Everybody, please say hello to the lovely K Moon.
Hi, guys. I'm so happy to hang out with you. If you didn't know, I'm a Western astrologer and I'm a twin flame channel. And you can hang out with me over at K Moon Astro on YouTube. I do a monthly new moon and full moon update for all of us who consider ourselves little light beings here on Earth. And for those of you who are in the experience of a twin flame soulmate divine connection, I do a special update for y'all. So great to be here with y'all. Thank you for having me, ASO. This is going to be a fun conversation.
I'm so excited. What should we start with? Should we start with personal growth or should we start with love?
We should put up a poll and let them choose. How about that?
Can
You
we
guys
do
want to
that?
choose? Yeah, I'm about
Yeah.
to make a poll on
Okay.
YouTube so that you guys can decide where you want to start. Because we had two ideas. We were like, we noticed everyone's going through such big changes, and we were like, okay, we have to talk about why. Like, why is there so much change going on right now? And there's really good reason for it based on the astrology. Um, but then we were also like, okay, well, maybe we can also talk about love and like some of the best times for love because frankly, both of our analytics, as much as you all sometimes like to complain about love, both of our analytics tell us that y'all really do watch
Mm-hmm.
everything having to do with love that the two of us post. So,
Yeah. Well, it's not the ones watching that are complaining.
right? Oh, for some reason that feature isn't installed here to do a poll, but I'm looking in the chat and it does seem like people I'm seeing a lot of love in the chat. Okay.
They're also saying that they can't see you. Is that because so she doesn't have her camera on, but you will see her, I think, when the charts come on, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to share some astrology charts in a minute. So for those of you who are astro curious or astro experts can follow along and see what's happening, where it's happening. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see everything. Okay, cool. I'm seeing a lot of people love. I'm seeing some people
Yes.
though who are really going through it. Oh, Jojo Rose, hang in there, baby. Angels on earth, the energies are shifting big
Mm-hmm.
time. Still living,
Yeah.
still loving. Hang in there, baby. Outscoring says career. Okay, so we're going to talk about it all. But it does look like people like the chat has spoken.
Chat is spoken.
We're gonna start with love. You guys, if you're journalers or dates are really important to you, you've got like a calendar, or you just want to grab a pen and paper, open up your notes in your phone. Get yourself a place to write these dates down because I'm going to run you guys through some dates so that you can know and look for all the goodness that's going to happen. Morgan the Void. Ew, not love. Morgan the Void, come
Morgan
back
the
in
Void,
about
she's always good
20
vibes.
minutes.
Give her a break. She's always good vibes. We love Morgan the Void here.
It's hilarious. That's hilarious. Hey, Erica Castillo. Thank you too.
Thank you,
Okay. Yeah.
Adia.
So
You're
we'll
so
we'll
sweet.
start with love. And then if you don't love love, come on back in like 20 minutes and then we'll talk about everything else. Yeah.
Or just like listen anyway and like just have fun.
I know, like maybe manifest some goodness for yourself off
Yeah.
the vibes here.
All right, let's get rolling.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let me pull up the chart now that I could like talk to your people forever. You guys are
I know.
such
I'm
a
like,
fun,
oh my
fun
God, like I
group.
never live stream. I'm like, my ancestors went to war and I'm like, oh, I'm like scared to live stream.
I get it. Okay, share the screen. Okay, so what you guys are about to see on your screen now is a picture of where the stars are at in the sky. If you could look up and see them right at this moment. This is a astrological wheel, and you'll notice that there are these sections that are called houses. Houses are areas of life. You'll see maybe some symbols you recognize on the outside, Libra, Scorpio, Sag. You'll see your symbol there. Those are the constellations that tell us how the houses perform. And then inside, you'll see a snapshot of where the planets are in the sky right now. And we see the moon is in Scorpio today. We see Venus is in Aquarius today. Sun is in Pisces today, and so forth. Okay. So I marked out some dates that I think would be good for us to talk about when it comes to love unfolding this year. Um, some of you may have noticed already as we started this year that, and you guys let us know in the chat if this is the case, but some of you may have noticed that there's a lot of like exes returning, people that you used to know reaching out, um, like upheavals in, yes, everything else, but also in love, where they're like maybe things were going fine. And then all of a sudden there was a complete reversal at the end of January, beginning of February, or you were minding your business and then all of a sudden the ex pulls up in the DMs like, what's good? If you have seen that, that is a function of Venus's higher octave in the zodiac, Juno, the wife of Jupiter in the mythology, having turned retrograde as of January 21st. And so, as you know, with a Venus retrograde, we typically hear a lot of stuff about exes returning, emotional upheavals in love, opportunities to review your love situation, etc. With Juno going retrograde, um, we have the same situation, but even heavier. And so while Venus, gotta love her. She's love, chemistry, attraction, receptivity, that yummy, good feminine juju and energy that brings things together. It's Juno, the wife, that makes things stabilize. And so, with Juno going retrograde, we will see things of a more significant nature take place as opposed to things of a more casual nature. Okay. Um, so from your past lives as a guy broke my heart out of nowhere around that time. Yeah. Kind of an ex. Yep. Definitely Jocelyn. Venusian Star Seed says the new boyfriend has been having his ex reach out and it's been very confusing. Otenkov, a retrograde is when a planet appears to move backwards in the sky according to our position on Earth. Now, they don't really move backwards. The same way when you're going 70 miles per hour in a car and you pull up alongside of a car that's going 50 miles per hour, as you pull ahead of that car, it can look like that car is going backwards, but they're really not. Retrograde is apparent backward motion as observed from Earth. So, okay, cool. Um, Jada says, New Boo said we might need to put the new relationship on pause. Listen, here's the thing. Both with Venus retrograde and with Juno retrograde, changes that unfold during the retrograde period don't tend to stay changed when Venus goes direct. So the exact dates for this Venus retrograde are January 21st through April 21st. Jan 21, April 21. And just like with a Venus retrograde, we do get a post shadow and pre shadow period. With Juno, it's a little bit longer than Venus. Post shadow period is a little closer to about 2.5, almost 3 months. And during that period of time is where we get to integrate any of the learnings we got from Juno retrograde, but also when things that fell apart during Juno retrograde have the opportunity to come back together, or you get the opportunity to move into a brand new direction all the way. Now, the reason why I'm starting with this Juno retrograde, now remember I said Juno in the mythology is technically Jupiter's wife. Now, here's Jupiter. He looks like that upside down four here, up here in the sign y'all will recognize as Taurus, with the husband in an earth sign and the wife in an earth sign. We call this a harmonious conversation. We would say that they are harmoniously speaking to one another, aspecting to one another. And so this is the part where, okay, you know what? We've been going good. Let's go deeper, see if we can actually make something out of it. Or we've been going strong and things are really vanilla. Let's maybe take some time apart, see if there's really any passion or chemistry here. You'll also find very solid relationships hit rough patches during Juno retrogrades because while Venus brings love, Juno is the one that brings commitment. She's a higher
Hmm.
octave. And so here we have Juno, wife, Jupiter, husband, in conversation for the first 4 months of this year. He's hanging out in an earth sign. She's hanging out in an earth sign. And when they're both in the same element, things have the opportunity to have a lot of movement in the third dimension. Now, what's important to understand about this, you guys have heard of all the elements, right? Earth, air, water, fire, right? We are all familiar with those elements. The thing about the elements is that they tell us how energy is getting processed. Now, we know air, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, all of our air energy can be very mental. It's all about the thinking, the communication, the talking, right? We know water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, very emotional. The processing doesn't happen through the mind, but instead it happens through the emotional body. So you can imagine Earth is all about that third dimension, physical body, and you guys meeting up, having conversation, getting together in real life 3D. Okay. Fire is spirit, things processing through the spirit. But because both husband and wife are kicking it in earth signs, this is why we will see a lot of movement in the third dimension in our love lives. Now, if nothing has happened yet, I'm going to tell you, do not worry. Get ready. Fasten your freaking seatbelts. Because while these two are in their conversation as husband and wife, the divine surprise bringer. And that's Uranus. You'll see he looks like a
A butt planet.
circle. Looks like this. Uranus is just waiting to be invited into the conversation. So Jupiter is headed in this direction. He's going to jump up and meet with Uranus. And this is going to bring surprises out of the masculine field into the feminine field. Okay. So that's really exciting. Like the kind of surprises that I've been preparing my subscribers for over at K Moon Astro are things like surprise proposals, surprise, let's move in together, surprise, I brought you a puppy, surprise, I want you to come meet my parents, surprise, I bought you a car or something like that, the kind of things, because Jupiter is in Taurus. Taurus represents all the things of like luxury and beauty and comfort. Um, these are the kinds of surprises, and Taurus loves to stabilize things. It's one of the fixed signs. So this isn't like surprise, let's, you know, go to the South Pole. This is like surprise, let's get cozy, let's shack up, let's feel good together kind of stuff. So it's going to be really fun. And the closer Jupiter gets to Uranus, and that exact date is going to be April 21st. I want you guys to write that down, April 21st. The more likely there are, the closer we get. So anytime between now and then, it's like a month and 21 days away, 20 days. The closer we get, the more surprises there's going to be. So if nothing's happening yet, don't worry. There's plenty of time for stuff to come soon. Okay. Um, hey, Bridget, I do explain these charts more in classes that I teach. But if you hang out with me over on my channel, you'll see I do this like every new and full moon for folks. And I break stuff down even more there. So, Angels on Earth, it is indeed cuffing season. So, get ready. So, if y'all broke up at the beginning of Juno retrograde, by the time Juno's done and the husband is speaking to the surprise bringer, ooh, you might walk out your door feeling yourself, hair slicked back, heels on, can't tell you nothing, and somebody's outside going, marry me. That could really happen in this energy. So this entire first part of the year, good stuff. Um, I'm going to give y'all some other dates, but I wanted to give you January through April 1st and explain why this is the time, why it's going to be what it is. Let's pause. ASO, questions, things I should answer or speak to
Um,
before we go on?
Erica is asking a really great question. Why do some people get affected by these energies and others don't?
Yeah. So that really depends on how these energies play out in their chart. And so, for example, this is a sample chart I created based on just random today. You'll see March 1st, 2024, 7:49 p.m. is when I just threw this chart together. If this was an actual person's chart, we would see that the wife is technically here in the house of intuition and that the husband is technically here in the house of secrets. Some people do actually have that Libra rising. The rising sign indicates where the houses fall in your chart. And again, houses, they're just areas of life. Some of the people who are listening, you guys have a different rising sign, which means that the husband and wife are in houses that are more related to love and relationships. Some of you have another rising sign where the husband and wife are in houses more related to career. And some of you, like the Libra risings, especially the early degree Libra risings, you guys have this stuff happening in your intuitive houses. So, as much as this is a third dimensional, very movement and where you can see it energy. If you've got that Libra rising and this stuff is taking place in your 12th and 8th house, you're going to see you're probably going to have a lot of dreams, intuitive hunches. You're going to sense and feel your person around you in the physical, even if they're not there, that kind of thing. So it all depends on what your rising sign is and where this stuff falls in your chart. Great question. How did I do with that answer?
Beautiful. 10 out of 10.
Okay, cool. Should I keep going or should we take another question?
Uh, I think you should keep going.
Okay, cool. All right. So, other awesome dates for love. So all of January, all of February, March and April are gonna be some interesting times. Now, let's move forward. I want to talk about May because May is it's it's like its own year in a single month. We're going to come back to May a couple of times because May is a big month. We're going to talk about it when we're talking about love, but we're also going to talk about May when we get to talking about big changes of this year because this is a big year. Some of you guys have already noticed it, like you're going through it. You know, jobs are coming, jobs are going, like people are moving, people are leaving, people are coming in, major changes. Okay. So here we are in May, and I pulled up a date that is pretty close. I think May 8th, May 7th, and 8th. Guys, once you write that down, May 7, May 8. You'll see here we've got what we see as the new moon in Taurus. Hey, shout out to all the Taurus babies in the house. That'll be your birthday new moon. The new moon happens once a month when the sun and the moon come together. And that'll happen May 7th and 8th of 2024. However, at this time, what you're going to see also, remember I was talking to you all about the surprise bringer? Well, the surprise bringer and the husband are still kicking it at this time. They rock together for April, they rock together for May. And it's a very influential energy. And I'm going to talk about why when we get to the transformation part of the chat. But here the two of them are in the sign of Taurus, which deals with our heart's desires. And who's creeping up to join the conversation? Our girl Venus. In classical astrology, whenever Venus and Jupiter come together in a conversation, this is a very classic love transit. The one I told you guys about January through April with Juno in the mix. A lot of astrologers don't recognize Juno. Why? Because patriarchy. But with Venus in the mix, they like the more junior woman, go figure to kind of they like the flirtation of Venus. They like Venus's like super receptivity, you know, how open she is, you know, in terms of connecting, you know, heart open, sometimes legs open too. That's a Venusian energy. Venus and Jupiter are going to start to talk in a very classic conversation called a conjunction, where they're in the same sign at the same degree at the same time. And when they do, it opens up because Jupiter in classical astrology, he's not just the husband of the zodiac, he is also the expander, the opportunity bringer, and he tends to expand. Oh my gosh, my mind, get it out the gutter, K Moon. He tends to expand wherever he goes. Like whatever he touches, he opens it up. He brings opportunity to it. He widens it out. He expands the walls. And here
Okay,
comes Venus,
I'm
ready to
so
have a
sorry.
conversation. Yes.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I think that there are some people confused about what we're doing. And I think it would just be helpful, like really quickly, to just like summarize like what it is you're analyzing right now. Because there's like some people asking like
Yeah.
when you're gonna do their rising sign, and I think there's just some confusion.
Ah. So, what I'm doing for you guys is breaking down. Thank you guys so much who just joined. Welcome. I love it. Yes, that's right. Juno did say she needed a ring, just another seer. what we're doing today is breaking down the dates, and these are collective dates. So, for all of us, the best dates for love, why they're the best dates for love in 2024 for everyone. I'm not going to go sign by sign. We would be here until Saturday night. And right here, right now in the US, it's Friday night. So we're just going to I'm going to give you all the best dates because they are the best dates for everyone, regardless of rising sign. Okay. Okay. Morgan the Void is here for the vibes. Thanks, baby. Um, awesome beauty, Brandy. Glad you're taking notes. Space Ghost vibes is good. I like that. Okay, so
Vibes
yeah,
are
you
good in
guys
the
write this
chat.
date.
Love it.
Yes, you guys are a good group. Yes, Emma Little, Soul Fam, and it is healing energy. I agree. Vibes are awesome. So May 7th and 8th, you guys write it down because it is going to be a vibe all the way from roughly about the beginning of May. The closer we get to May 15th, 14th, vibes are going to be amazing when it comes to love. And we take this energy through roughly the 24th of May. So, late, all y'all, I need you to, get yourself into your pretty party energy, get yourself shaved, get yourself waxed, get yourself made up, done up, get your cute outfit on, your cute shoes, just do your whole thing all May long, especially as we get toward the end. Because this is when we see now here's Jupiter, here's Venus, here's the sun coming together. Thank you for keeping me out of the gutter, ASO, because I was going there. Um, seriously. I'm like, it's Friday night. I'm off the clock, guys. What do you want?
I feel you. I
Um,
just did like an hour and a half reading, and so like I come on here, I'm like my brain is like not braining.
right,
So thank
right.
God you're carrying us.
You're getting it. You're getting K Moon after dark, and she's a
Yeah,
different animal. Thank
she's the best kind.
you. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yes, just romantic love is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, like pet love. I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about you and your best friend, like, love you, girl. No, I'm talking about romance, connection, marriage commitment, meeting someone, dating and flirtation, like relating in that one-to-one romantic kind of way. Absolutely. Bridget Sterling, yes. You have found me on Spice Island, broadcasting
Spice
live.
Island, yes. Anyone who checked out the my most recent video, we went to Spice Island in the extended. So yeah, it was very fun. So looks like we're taking an excursion back there.
Yes, your girl K Moon she landed there and she's broadcasting from there. She's not coming back. Let's talk
Yeah, no, we're
about
here to
the month of
stay.
June.
Island
Let's
girlies.
talk about the month of June. Oh my gosh. Okay, so right around this time, we head into the Gemini new moon. Oops, six. Okay, so we head into the Gemini new moon. I think it's June 5th. Edit chart data. So 6-5 and 6-6. There we go. And there she is, the beauty of a new moon. Whenever we have a new moon connected to Venus, that new moon tends to be very love and connection focused. And love and connection can always go a couple of ways, right? It can just be flirtation and like, a passing fancy. But typically, when we see planets like Saturn involved, which we get at this new moon, Saturn represents structures, boundaries. Saturn is literally a planet with a ring around it. You're looking for a ring on it. And we also have Juno, the wife, involved, and she elevates love to commitment. Both of those planets are involved at this Gemini new moon. And so, because they're both talking to this new moon, they're talking to Venus, and Gemini represents the duality. We hit like this fork in the road energy where things could go either way in love. This is a little Russian roulette. It's a little like I don't know. Are you feeling lucky today? Huh? Are you? Like it's that kind of energy here. So I wanted to prepare you guys for that because if there's something you're trying to land or anchor come by June, and June is like one of the best love dates of the summer. This June 5th and 6th, that or the week before and week after this new moon in Gemini. What you want to do to create solidification here is be open. One of the gifts of the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and Sagittarius. And again, we're not going sign by sign. I'm just kind of giving you some general information here. The gifts of the mutable signs is that their response to life is to bend and flex, to see how things can work, and to take things one step at a time rather than needing everything all at once, like a Capricorn. Don't get me wrong, Cap, you could put a ring on it, baby. It's all good. But with this energy, you're going to want to take things one step at a time. And that's the best way to utilize this rather than trying to force yourself into someone's life or force someone into yours. The other thing I'll say is that Sagittarius energy is going to be really important at this time. Sagittarius energy is about faith, hope, optimism, keeping your mind positive when things are up in the air and things, if you, my mom's a Gemini, so I grew up in this energy. If things are kind of unsettled or up in the air at times during this period, one of the best things you can do is just stick to your truth and think positive thoughts. Assume good intent. One of the ways I frequently, especially with my clients, see good connections go bad is when people assume the worst of another person instead of assuming the best. So that's the best way to use this Gemini new moon energy. Okay. Let's pause. I'm going to head to another date. I'm going to pull up some fall dates here. Talk to me about any questions we have here in the chat, my love. What do we see?
And now we just see
Say
words.
it again.
Nothing yet. Questions,
Okay. Nobody has
y'all.
questions yet. No questions yet? Okay.
I assume they're probably
Hey.
typing them if they have them.
Okay, cool. Hey, Midnight Artist. I love how serious and commitment focused Cap is. It is such a nice energy. It's very stable, very stabilizing. Angels on Earth struggles with uncertainty. Yeah. I want the ring. No Cap. Awesome. You guys are great. Okay, so we are going to move into the fall eclipse season. Now, if you were here with us from the beginning of the broadcast, I shared with you that this year in general is extraordinarily like, visions from the past returning, ex returnee, like break up and then make right back up and take it deeper. This energy it's like that well into the fall. So there are some eclipses that are going to show up in the spring, but they're not super love focused. There's two eclipses in the fall that are. And so I want to get you ready for those, especially if you're looking for some kind of reunion. This is 2024 is a big year for reunions. Now, if you're looking for something new, don't get me wrong, that can happen. But the kind of new thing that will happen in the fall is the kind of new that's like somebody that maybe you feel like you knew from like a past life. Maybe you never met them, but they just feel so familiar. Like, where do I know you from? That's the kind of vibe we're getting with these fall eclipses. And specifically, it's the one on October 2nd in Libra season that has the biggest vibes around that. So let's take a look here.
Oh, oh my
We
God, all
have
that Libra energy. Holy moly.
this is why it's so like relationship focused, right? Tons of Libra placements. Now you're going to recognize some things here. I'm going to speak to my beginner to intermediate astrologers. Um, there's some things here that aren't typically accounted for when we are looking at astrology, for beginners, right? The verdicts point is here, doesn't really count. You can ignore that in a collective chart. But Lilith is here, something's called the shaman's asteroid is here, and there's something called a prenatal eclipse here. You can ignore all of those for now. What you can't ignore is right around the time of this Libra new moon. And again, new moons are beginning. So that air new moon in Gemini, this air new moon in Libra, these new beginnings are opening up the potential for something new to jump off in the world of, you guessed it, Libra, relationships, partnerships, and collaborations. Now, somebody asked earlier, is this only about love? And generally speaking, yes. However, for those of you who are looking for business partners, people who can collaborate with you on projects, a co-creator, in something non-romantic, one of the best times to find that this year is at this new moon in Libra time period. Just as we wrap up the month of September and that first week of October. And the reason why is because we've got, yes, relationship sign, but we also, again, wife is hanging out. She's in the mix. She's on the scene all of September here in the sign of Libra. She's moving direct. She's finally out of the sign she went retrograde in, which was Virgo. And while Virgo really wants to dot I's, cross T's, deal with details in connection, Libra's like, let's just balance it out. I don't know. What do you want to do? You said you were hungry. What do you want to eat? No, you choose, you pick. And so here we have the energy of two people trying to balance things out as we get into October. And that's going to be a really beautiful energy. That continues and extends during this period of time. It's heightened and amplified at this solar eclipse in Libra on October 2nd, because there's once again, our husband has moved into the sign of Gemini and he is speaking to the wife in the sign of Libra. And again, it's a very stable energy because it's not like, oh, flirty, flirty. It's like, no, look, are we in or are we out? What are we doing? And she's finally moving forward. And so, if there were any reversals in your love life at the beginning of the year, by this solar eclipse in October, new beginnings are solar eclipses and new moons. This is when things could get talked out, ironed out, and put back together. Okay. So, very cool, very exciting. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's look at October really quick because October holds one of the last really great dates for love. Head out to 1010. And let me just get a little bit earlier. Okay, there we have both Juno and Venus kicking it in the sign of Scorpio. Now, I love this energy. It's an energy where if you are a more feminine entity here on earth, then it's not about your parts, it's about your energy, right? This is a period of time when you might be really feeling yourself and really feeling like good about who you are, good about, life and its opportunities, feeling like in the very sexy sign of Scorpio. If you're trying to kind of attract or draw in something flirtatious that could then stabilize, this is great energy for it. We'll also have Saturn in wonderful communication with the two of them by trine as they progress throughout the month of October. And so when Saturn harmoniously aspects, we get commitment stabilizing. Okay. So that first week of October into the middle, like I'd say about October 21st, great time for love as well. Okay. These are what I have as the best dates for love in 2024. I want to pause here for any questions about love or the dates that I shared before we get into why is everybody's life melting down right now. Asa, what do you got?
I mean, honestly, the chat's talking about Wendy's, and I just have to put my opinion out there. I don't think Wendy's fries are that good. I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with what you were talking about, but it did like that's what I was thinking about.
It's
But
all good.
seriously,
Whose fries do you got? Whose fries do you got? Tell me.
okay. Well, like if they're fresh, I think McDonald's has good fries. Like you really can't. But also Steak and Shake has really good fries in my opinion, or at least they used to.
Mm,
Like those little tiny, I
okay.
like the little tiny ones, like the little like meh.
Like the shoestring fries?
Yeah. Can you summarize all the dates that you said?
Yeah, sure can. So let's do a quick recap. Let me get my notes. Okay. January through April, best dates for love, the entirety of January through April. Lots of things can happen, especially if you're trying to reconcile with someone. May 7th through 24th. Great time for love, especially when it comes to surprises in love. June 3rd through roughly about the 24th. Fabulous time for love. Could be filled with a little tension. Just make sure you take things step by step. September, mid-September, we've got a great time for some flirtation and some things to unfold there. And then what was the date of that eclipse? Sorry, October 2nd. So October 2nd through roughly October 21st. Great time for kind of a feminine energy taking the lead. It's like a femme fatale month kind of energy.
I love that.
Okay. Yeah.
Lilith on the ascendant is quaking. She's like, you called?
Hilarious. Okay, I have to know. So Sarah Edie eats her fries with honey. Is anyone else like a fries with mayo person, or is it just me? I want the fat on fat, man. Like, just don't hold back. If I'm going for fries, give me everything.
You know what's crazy though? I'm like that guy that's like, give me not like I just want the fries as they are. Like I don't like stuff on my stuff. Sometimes I do, but like I like personally, and this is probably gonna get me canceled, but like I think ketchup is disgusting. Like I can't. I'm like, ugh, ugh. I tried it once when I was like 4, and I was like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. Like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I gotta really be in the mood for ketchup. But seriously, nobody?
Like,
Mayo?
I mean,
Nobody?
oh come on, I've heard that. Someone says sometimes mayo with my fries.
Oh, you guys, you got to get on it with the mayo. It is so good. And the best is okay. So I'm gonna let y'all in on my real secret. You all are really learning how I do my Friday nights and my Saturday lunches. So sometimes I'll take the mayo and I'll mix it with like hot sauce or buffalo wing sauce. So it's like spicy or sriracha, and I'll put the fries in that. Woo! That'll make anybody's fries taste amazing.
There was slander in the chat. Someone said I ate pizza with ranch, and I'm like, I don't like ranch either. It's like sauces are just not. I most of them just like gross me out. I'm learning to embrace my sauce journey, but I have to be. I don't know. I think it tastes gross. I don't really like dressings. I don't really like sauces. I think food tastes pretty fine without them. So you know what?
Oh my God, I remember that about you. I never forget the day we were like kicking it on Zoom, like hanging out together for like hours. And you were like, I'm ready to order some food. And your food came, you had ordered a salad. And on this, I was like, so what do you have on your salad? You were like, nothing. I like it raw. It's like, oh my God, this girl.
I mean, like, okay, there's one salad that I eat with dressing, and it's like this special like peanut sauce, and it's really good. Teriyaki is fine. But like I don't know. I just light sauces, okay. But like ranch, I'm just like no, like it's too bleh. Like I don't know. It's just too like I don't know, creamy, I guess. I don't know. But like with salad dressings, like yeah, I just think a lot of them are really gross. And then now I'm like, I could like them, but the salads are technically healthier without them. So I might as well just stick with what I know before I embrace the slippery slope. You know what I mean?
And on that fine note, Sarah
My
Edie
raw
in the
dog the
chat.
salad.
Sarah Edie says, you know what, ASO? You do you.
Thank you.
Yes. So, speaking of doing you, back to 2024, shall we, people?
Yeah.
So far this year, people have said how many of you in the chat are experiencing a major job change? Put JOB in the chat. If it's a job or a career, like you're graduating and you're stepping into a career for the first time, you're in a career and you're like trying to figure out what's next because it's not working, or you're winding down one career so that you can switch to another. If something's up with the job, type it JOB in the chat. Others of you are in the middle of major movements of home. And if home is the issue for you, I want you to type home in the chat. I've heard about people selling all their belongings and beginning to travel the world for the first time since before the pandemic. I've heard about people taking like buying a house for the first time. Other people are selling their house and uh, buying a farm. I've even met several people who are like, me and my girls, we decided we're going to buy a plot of land. It's six of us, and we're just going to build on the land and we're going to live on the land together. I've heard many stories like that. Lots of job, lots of home changes. Okay. And then the other thing I'm seeing a lot of people go through is almost like identity crisis galore. Like they don't know which way is up. So if identity is it for you, type identity in the chat. Um, where they are experiencing like, I used to be so sure about everything in my life, but everything seems to be changing or ending. Like I'm losing everything all at once. I've lost my job, I've lost my home, I've lost my spouse, my partner, my boyfriend, my girlfriend. I'm seeing people go through lose it all energies in 2024. So if identity is the issue for you, put identity in the chat. There's a reason why so much of these things are changing all at once. And I'm going to walk you through why that is when we talk about the rare astrological events of 2024 in a minute. And there's about four of them that are super rare. So I'm going to take you through each one and what they mean for us collectively. We won't go sign by sign, but this is the part where we're going to move off of love and we're going to talk about change. Yeah. Okay. So some of you are definitely in the identity space. I see a lot of you are in the home space, job stuff too. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So you guys are feeling this energy. You're not immune to it. Hadia says,
Hmm.
identity, kinda. Yeah. All of them, Matthew O'Connor says. Please tell me it's because of a glow up, Jada. Well, as a matter of fact,
Just another
glow up
seer.
in
I feel it. I'm tired. I'm so tired. Is anyone else just like
right.
exhausted? Like I'm just so tired
And
all the time.
it's barely March, right? We just got into March. Yeah. So there's a reason for all of this. I'm going to take you into what just happened that was a once in 248-year experience. Okay. That's this sucker right here, Pluto, which looks like this, a little circle with a smiley face and a small cross underneath. Our friendly planet that's been demoted from planet status, but still is definitely impacting our lives, just switched out of the sign of Capricorn and into the sign of Aquarius. This is a big deal. Pluto moves slow, but Pluto carries an impact. So you guys all remember 2008, right? When there was an economic collapse having to do with the housing market. And it took several years for things to stabilize again financially for all of us collectively. When that happened in the fall of 2008, Once again, that was Pluto jumping into the sign of Capricorn that deals with banks and institutions and opposing the sign Cancer that deals with homes. Wherever Pluto goes, power flows and follows, is what I always say on my channel. If you're new, welcome. K Moon Astro is where you can find me. Pluto inside of Aquarius is opening up a different relationship to power in all of our lives. But as Pluto wraps up in Capricorn, it's deflating, removing power from making changes to the sign that governs institutions, jobs, careers, banking, and the signs that deal with homes. And so 14 years, Pluto and Cap, that 14-year cycle is done. Now Pluto's moving into Aquarius. Hey, shout out to all the Aquarius people in the chat. I love you guys. With Pluto and Aquarius, there's changes to Aquarius governs unions. Y'all remember strike summer of 2023 and how there are many, many, many more strikes going on around the world globally. Pluto's restoring power to collectives of people. Aquarius governs collectives. But Aquarius is also technology, forward thinking consciousness. And so we have lots of conversations going on right now around AI and technology and the direction of things. What are our human rights around that? How is this changing our lives? And that's because Pluto is shaking everything up. Pluto shakes things up in triplicate: death and ending. That's the first step. We have just finished up the death and ending part. And so somebody said, please tell me this is all happening because there's a glow up coming. Yes, there is a glow up coming. The second stage of Pluto's work is always integration and learning. This is going to inform you of where you can no longer afford in your life to be disempowered. We've all, as we closed out 2023 and moved into 2024, had some major eye openings around what's not working in our life, where we've participated in being disempowered, where we're underpaid, overworked, where we aren't getting our fair dues. And many of the changes that are unfolding now are part of trying to integrate and rebalance and recalibrate, stepping into our power in our lives. The third step of Pluto's work, after the integration and the learning, is the resurrection, the rebirth, the emergence. It's the phoenix. And so Pluto will move into its Phoenix years coming forward around 2026, 2027, and 2028. But there's a lot of restabilization, destabilization, deconstruction, reconstruction, transformations, integrations going on right now. Now, that's not to mean if it's been sucky now, it's not going to be sucky until 2026. It won't be. But it is to say that the same way in 2008, we saw things never really get back to quote unquote normal until 2011. And even then, it was a new normal. You didn't stay unemployed from 2008 to 2011, right? People you knew had jobs, they just transitioned. We will transition too, in home, in career, in identity, all of it. Okay. So there we go. That's Pluto. The interesting thing about this Plutonian energy, you guys, opposite Pluto is the sign of the king. And this brings us into some major craziness. So the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was 1776. And if you, does anybody know 1775, 1776, and 1777, what happened in the United States at that time? If you know it, type it in the chat.
Wait, what was it?
uh,
Sorry, they were. What happened?
1775,
Oh,
1776, and 1777. What happened in American history?
we defeated the British, baby. That's what we did.
That's right. There was an overthrow of an oppressive regime. And we got the right to rule ourselves in the United States, right?
And then we created our own.
Our own oppressive regime. We decided we didn't want no British sauce. We wanted our own sauce, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was literally the last time Pluto was in Aquarius. It takes that long to move, 248 years. And so, again, just the way Pluto made changes to banks and institutions when it was in Capricorn and the home sector, it's a opposite sign. Same thing's about to happen here. Changes to collectives and groups of people and royalty, etc. Now, here's the wackadoo thing about this. Y'all want to go deeper down this rabbit hole? This year, one of the other major changes that we have going on is Jupiter and Uranus coming together inside of Taurus. Now, that's not super rare that they come together. I think they come together. Um, excuse me. So sorry. Something caught in my throat. Let me get some water. One second. Continue talking about sauce class, please.
Yeah, this is like, I'm so sorry, Kay. I don't know how this devolved into a sauce conversation. Apparently, it's very controversial that I don't like things.
It's all good. No one's blaming you for it. So Jupiter and Uranus come together roughly every 14 years. It's not that rare, but it is still very special. They're coming together this year. But what's interesting about it, I'm going to take y'all to a very special date. The last time there was not the last time, but there was a time when they came together during the French Revolution. Uh, and they came together during the French Revolution in the sign of the king, literally in Leo. So that was 1858, and it was April and May. So a similar event, actually. Do I have that wrong? That's 1958. Yes, came on, change that. Similar stuff went on where there was an overthrow of a government. There was the installation of a dictator and a revolution that unfolded. And so there's Jupiter and Uranus in May of 1858, also in that same sign of Taurus. So this was the French Revolution. Napoleon came into power
Wait.
during this time. Yeah,
Oh.
girl.
Okay, no, I thought the French Revolution was 1780s.
Sorry, 1789. Yes, you are correct.
I'm like
There were
my
two.
history minor. I'm like, I swear, I knew this. This got drummed into my
No,
head.
no. The last time they came together in Taurus was 1858, but they did come together in
Gotcha.
1789. Yep.
Cool. Okay,
So
cool. Just
so
checking.
the Taurus coming together, that part is rare. They come together every 14 years, but not always in Taurus. 1858 was the last time they came together in Taurus. 1789, you are correct, Madam Aso. There they are coming together at the start of the sign of the king. And so I find that really fascinating that the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, there was the American Revolution, that Jupiter and Uranus have come together at the start of Napoleon's dictatorship. And we have activation to the sign of the king, which was activated at the same time the American Revolution happened. And we have an American presidential candidate who he's made a promise that when he comes into office, he is not leaving it without regard or respect for the Constitution that has a term limit on that office. So I find that a
Mhm.
very interesting coincidence. Like, I wonder how this is going to play out for us when we get to November.
I
So
can't even like I'm not mentally or emotionally prepared for like any of
you're
that.
like, girl, it's Friday night. Can we go back to talking about love and sauce?
No, honestly, actually no, yeah, no, it'll get me fired up. I can't talk about it. Shouldn't publicly talk
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah. So it means Leo. Somebody was like, what does the sign of the king mean? It's Leo. Leo is a sign that specifically deals with monarchies. So yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sky Mania, that's a great question. I love that you asked, like, when exactly is the Phoenix time coming? Because I'm about done with stage one and stage two of Pluto. Um, the Phoenix time is going to happen at different times for a lot of us. What's happening is we're all getting moved across life's chess board, little bit at a time. So, Nat's like, but do we have to pay rent? Nat, that is an excellent question, hun. We're gonna we're on Operation F around and find out when it comes to that for sure. I mean, listen, maybe if rent is free, Mayo will be free and ranch will be too.
Well, it
Okay,
won't
so
benefit me in the slightest.
I know because you were already raw dogging it with your salads. Okay, so two major energies of this year. Pluto moving into Aquarius is shaking up and reshaping all of our lives and supporting all of us because Pluto's in the sign of collectives and groups of people. That's why we have so many unions doing union things right now to have more rights. It's the sign that deals with individuals wanting to have way more rights. Um, and so Pluto's going to move into Aquarius and stabilize, but the stabilization process does take several years. We will phoenix over the course of these several years, not all at once and not at a specific date in the future. Things will close and then things will reopen the same way they did in 2008. Things like collectively we had a meltdown, but things restabilized a little bit at a time as Pluto progressed into Capricorn. Things were back to what we would call new normal by roughly 2011, but they were not ever what they were before 2008. And so, similarly, we'll have a roughly 3 year integration period of Pluto landing in Aquarius. If it's been hell this year, it will not continue to stay hell. I want to make sure I say that. It will get better from here. It will get better from here. It will get
It
better
will get
from
better
here.
from here. It will get better from
Yes.
here. Say it, scream
Yes.
it, write it on your bathroom wall, write it in your
Right?
sauces that you guys are so obsessed with, put it on your salad.
Exactly. Speak it over your salad. It does get better from here. Just going to be a little bit as at a time as we all figure out what personal empowerment means to us and what group empowerment also looks like. But it does get better from here. Okay. So hopefully that really helps you understand the entire kind of Phoenix thing. I saw a few of you asking about that. Jojo Rose, it will get saucy. You are correct, madam.
Yeah,
Does get a little
it's been
saucy.
saucy.
Yes. Yes. And Rhiannon Clark music. Yes. The only way is up. Exactly. Morgan the Void is like, it's about to pop off. It could. It definitely could. Um, yeah, Adam Fenton, you're right. Movement into this new era takes time, but it doesn't, if it's been hell now, that doesn't mean it's going to be hell all 3 years. It'll be changes as we go, lots of changes. Okay. We'll get better from here. Love you guys. This is so good.
Yeah, this is so
Okay.
fun. Thank you guys for being so like active and so wonderful. And
I
yes,
know. Yeah, you guys are welcome. You're welcome, Jada. Okay, so that's major transit number two. Jupiter conjunct Uranus, and we also have Pluto in Aquarius. Let's talk about Chiron conjunct the North Node because that's very active right now. I actually over at K Moon Astro just did a live about that. So if you want to check it out, if you guys, I mean, I know some of you are like, yeah, astrology, no, vibes, yes. Others of you are like, shut up, class. I'm trying to take notes and be a good student. Some of y'all are in that place. And that's
And I'm in
cool.
the
I'm
back of the
here for
class with
all
him.
of it. Like cracking jokes with everybody else. Oh, so
Oh.
yeah, whichever space you're in, it's all good. No shade, no shame. It is Friday night when we're recording this. But here's the deal. The next one I'm going to talk about as a major shift is Chiron conjunct the North Node. Some of you guys have heard of Chiron. He looks like a K with a little ball underneath its foot. Uh, Chiron is classically known as the wounded healer, but he's always been so much more than about his wound. So it's really unfortunate that that's the first thing we identify him with. It would be like I want you guys to think about the worst thing that's ever happened to you. Like, I don't know, that day in middle school when you got pantsed, or that one day where you were walking to school and, the bus like rolled through a puddle and threw mud all over your clothes. The way we identify Chiron as, quote, the wounded healer would be the equivalent of calling you mud clothes Katie for the rest of your life. Like, it just doesn't make any sense because Chiron has been so much more than that. He was an educator. Yes, he was a healer. Yes, Chiron brought the sauce when it came to transcending rejection because both of his parents rejected him, and really stepping into leadership and his own self acceptance. And so, when Chiron is on the scene, we're having a conversation about stepping into your leadership, stepping into self acceptance. We're also having a conversation about being your own healer, right? Physician, heal thyself, and also being a guide, leader, and teacher to other people. All of the famous Greek mythological heroes, Odysseus, Prometheus, Jason of Argonaut fame, met with Chiron before they went on their heroes' journeys, and Chiron gave them special wisdom to be able to complete their tasks. Because Chiron holds that wisdom within, when you see Chiron on the scene, it's a call to step into your own inner wisdom or to be the wisdom and be the light for somebody else. Okay. Chiron conjunct the North Node. So there's Chiron, here's the North Node. North Node looks like this. It's like an N that's like a lowercase n that's upside down, again with the little balls on the feet. I don't know why in astrology they like to put these little balls on things. I'm sure that's
Who
something
doesn't love
maybe
balls?
maybe it's in the Phoenician language. I don't know. Maybe it's Babylonian. I have no idea. So with Chiron coming together with the North Node in Aries, the last time that this happened was 1969. Girl,
You
it's
really
too Friday. I can't help
I
myself. What is
conjure
wrong
all
with
the
me?
chaos. Like, I love it. No, this is perfect. These are the vibes.
Why am I like this? Okay, so 1969 was the last time Chiron and the North Node came together. So here they are in 2024, dancing in Aries once again. Aries is the sign of the self and our ambitions. And it's super auspicious that in the sign of the self and our ambitions, Chiron's coming along to provide some special wisdom and healing at the same time that Pluto was saying to collectives, yo, pick up your power, stop playing small, take action, that's Aries, to move your life forward. And so, this is a very special season, these first 4 months of this year, where this energy is the most active through roughly about April. Peak time is now March and April, or sorry, February, mid February to late March. This is the peak time for this. But if you guys have noticed, there's like almost this energetic demand from within, like a welling up inside of just do something new already. For goodness sake, stop being the you used to be last year. That you've outgrown it.
Mood.
And right, it's a total vibe. And so you may have noticed, and if you guys want to, if you're open to sharing in the chat, like finger guns, yeah, if you're open to sharing in the chat, guys, like what new things you've gotten up to or felt guided or called to do. Some of you have felt really guided to start a new business, start a new project. Some of you have felt really guided to start a new career path. Some of you have felt really guided to go after a long time dream that, you've always wanted to do. But there is, Michelle says an energetic demand is so true. Yeah. You guys have totally stepped into this Chiron conjunct the North Node thing. The North Node likes to pull us in the direction of growth. And in the sign of Aries, the direction of growth is to just be more authentic, be yourself, be original. And frankly, Aries, as that first sign of the zodiac, is all about taking initiative, being first, stepping it up, coming out of the gate strong. And so this energy is pushy. It's not the kind of energy that wants you to sit there and calculate. There's an urgency in the air with this energy. And so if you're feeling like that, yeah, tell us about it in the chat. Like, what are you doing? New businesses, going back to school, starting a new skill. Yep. I make jewelry, but my soul wants to design clothes. Hey, this is the time. Matthew's changing major. Yeah.
Love to
Katie's
see the
into tarot.
tarot. That makes
Yes.
me happy.
Justin is feeling called to relocate and pursue dreams. I love this, you guys. I'm heavily called to do animation. I love this. So you guys are in it. So you remember how part of the first part of the changes conversation, we were talking a lot about like a lot of you had the question, well, when does the Phoenix part start? Like when do we get out of the death and destruction? And when do we get out of like the holding space of just learning and integration? When do we actually start to rise? I'm gonna tell you, the sooner you do the new doggone thing, the sooner you get into the Phoenix part. Like these stars, you're not waiting on them, they're waiting on you. They've already done their part. You guys are all so clear about the things that you want to do. You've wrote them down in the chat. You've known what they are. Lauren wants to do the yoga training. Angels on Earth is a stylist, right? Blues Clues is writing, wants to write and make and produce music and perform it. Yes, Bridget Cirilli, that's exactly it. The Phoenix part starts when you start, when you take that leap of faith. And that's Aries energy for real. That's big Aries energy. It starts when you start and not a minute sooner. So if you don't like being in the death and destruction energy of Pluto, take action, do a new thing. That's what Chiron and the North Node in Aries are inviting us all into as a way of transforming and changing our lives. So, that's what I got. These are the major transits of this year. I could go into eclipse stuff, but honestly, that would take like so much longer. If you guys want to hear eclipse stuff, then let us know in the chat. But if you just want to talk about like, I don't know, sauce and whether or not Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are even compatible, we can do that too. Who has
Okay, okay,
questions, class?
okay. I have a question. We got to start with me because you brought up Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce last time we were talking. And so I'm like, what do you want to say about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce?
Haven't looked at their charts and I'm so curious. Should we look, you guys? Put it in
I
the
mean, why
chat if
not?
you think we should look. Okay. Let
They're
us know
gonna
what
be
you
like,
want to
no,
look
we're
at.
tired of Taylor.
Are you guys seriously tired of Taylor Swift? I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was watching football this fall, I was really tired of her too. When I'm watching football, I just want to watch football. And when I'm listening to Taylor Swift, I don't want to think about the NFL. I like my
Oh,
music and I like my NFL separate personally.
I'm just not watching football. So
Okay, cool. Okay.
we do
Jade is like,
also have
no, okay.
Q&A as well.
Yeah, so you guys can bring any questions you want to bring. Um, any questions you've got, I
Let's just do
am,
it. Okay, there's mixed energies here. There's a mixed bag,
is it?
but why not? Why not?
Okay. I'm totally pulling up her chart as we speak. So she was
Okay,
born
if
in
you guys don't like it,
Pennsylvania,
you can like leave and come back or just watch what you're interested in.
or you could
Do
give
what
us
you
a
gotta
better
do.
question to answer.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
give us something.
you could tell us what you'd rather talk about instead, and we can go there. I mean,
Kaylee, we already did love
unfortunately,
themes.
yeah, we did. That was the start. Just rewind to the
Yeah.
beginning. Okay, do we have a time of birth for her?
I can Google it.
I'm Googling. I'm Googling images. Seek tends to be pretty accurate. Thank you guys for kicking it.
How about we do a different live stream for the eclipses since they'll like take like a really long time.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we could
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
do
yeah,
this
yeah.
again. Because I see
Okay,
some
I'm
people
down.
wanting eclipses, but it's like less.
Not everybody. Okay, yeah. And then everybody who wants to do eclipse stuff can come to the eclipse chat when they know it's going to be about eclipses, right? I think
Holly
that's
has a
that's
question
fair.
that I really want to answer, and I'm going to answer it based on your wisdom. Holly asked, how do I know when to give up on a love connection? And what I would tell you, Holly, is some of the best advice I've heard in Kay's videos. So you should subscribe to her if you're not subscribed, where she says you'll be ready to let go of something when your heart is ready. Like the mind may want one thing, but the heart just doesn't lie. Like you'll know when you're ready to let go of something. She'll feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact for real. Like when you're done at your doctor's office, like you don't feel the need to block your fucking doctor. So I'm swearing. Oh my gosh, you really got K live tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Like when you're
Hey,
done
this is a pro fuck channel. It's my favorite word.
Okay, cool. I'm glad I'm in really good company. Hey, did you know he's from Ohio? I did not know he's from where we're
Yeah.
from. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all didn't know, I'm an Ohio girl.
I'm also an Ohio
Um,
girl. We're both Ohio girls.
Ohio knows how to make them for real.
I think honestly, I think it just makes us very humble. And so we have to, we make it, we figure it out.
But for real though, when people are like, yo, I'm just here for the vibes, the reality is you're here because we are originally from Ohio.
Hmm.
Ohio is the vibe.
I mean, in a lot of ways it's not, but I feel like it's like it breeds strength because it's like you're from Ohio.
Yes,
Yeah, you like
for
have to make life
real.
interesting because your surroundings aren't.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason it's a swing state for sure, because people there are, I mean, they make their own mind up about stuff. Like they'll swing left and they'll swing right based on the logic that they think is working for them. And I can't always say that's accurate logic. I'm not saying Ohioans have the
Ha,
corner of the
I
market
literally
on
went to school
smarts.
with Joe Burrow. That's so funny. I
Did you
like
seriously?
yeah, yeah, like middle and high
I did
school.
not
Like
know that.
his mom
I
is
did not know
very
that.
lovely. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
had gym class with him.
Was he good in gym class?
I mean, well, they were like
Or was
usually
he
like
scrawny?
segregated, like boys and girls.
Oh, okay.
But
Got it.
when we played Scramble, which was like which is like just a chaotic dodgeball, like everyone was together and I just knew like I didn't want to be anywhere near him. Um,
Because he
but
threw
yeah,
it really hard.
I mean, like honestly, I just grouped him in with all the guys good at sports. I didn't realize that he was like an extra good guy at sports until like later. He was just one of the sports guys. Like, I don't know. He was a nice and a cool guy. I didn't know him very well. He was in the grade above me, but my brother played football with him and yeah, I'm really proud of him. So I'm like, it's cool to see him thriving and see people so supportive of him. Yeah, he was, I mean, like we didn't really like talk very much, but like yeah, as far as I remember, he wasn't a mean guy. He was more like just a quiet guy. He was nice.
which most people are, other than he who shall not be named, which we have also discussed is from Ohio. We'll just skip him tonight. Okay, I have the charts up. Travis Kelce is on the left and Taylor Swift is on the right. So for those of you who didn't know, Taylor Swift is a Sagittarius sun, a Capricorn rising, and a Cancer moon. Rising is uncertain for Travis Kelce, but we do have a Libra sun and we have a Sag moon. Ooh, okay, you guys want some astro tea? I have the tea.
Spill it, spill it,
So,
spill it.
so she is the sun in their connection, and he is the moon. Notice that her sun sits at the 21st degree of Sagittarius, and his moon sits at the 15th degree of Sagittarius. Typically in astrology, not always, we're seeing more and more of the reverse, but classically in astrology, we do like to see the male-oriented partner be the sun and the woman-oriented partner be the moon. Why? Be because it is the sun person, if they have the same sun and moon sign, it's the sun person who ends up taking a lot of the initiative to make the connection move forward. But because of our cultural programming, when that sun person is of the female persuasion, a woman. Typically, the woman can sometimes get a little frustrated at the pace at which the moon person, if it's a man, moves the connection along. They can sometimes feel a little bit like, why do I have to initiate freaking everything? So, if you guys know in your love connection, if you've ever had a love connection where you have the same moon as somebody else's sun, or they have the same sun or they have the same moon. You know what I'm trying to say, vice versa.
Hmm. You got
If
it, queen.
this it's the sun person who tends to feel the impetus to drive the connection forward, while the moon, as a reflective heavenly body, tends to be more of the recipient of that source of movement. And so when the man has the moon conjunct a woman's sun, we do tend to see that sometimes the woman can get a little frustrated at the pace at which the man wants to take things. Sometimes the man can feel a little overwhelmed at the pace at which the woman wants to move. Now, this isn't always the case. Like I said, I've been seeing an abundance of this role reversal happening a lot in my readings. My suspicion is the reason why is because we're in the middle of a major course correction as a species when it comes to the abuse of power from male consciousness. And so we just, we're still under the influence of a post Me Too movement world. And so even though Travis Kelce was born before that moment, he is one of many men who, in this timeline, in this lifetime, at this moment, who have arrived on earth to have connections with powerful women to showcase that you can be a powerful man and still let a woman lead and still have a powerful woman at your side, and that there's nothing wrong with that. And so that's an interesting little bit of Astro T. I did not know that she was a Sag sun and he was a Sag moon. Sometimes you can, sometimes it doesn't always work, but oftentimes I feel like we have these examples of when it can go well to show us, everything doesn't always have to be the way it used to be, guys. Sometimes we can grow and evolve. Okay.
Hmm. Really?
Yeah.
I thought we were just supposed to say the same and be curmudgeons.
I love to see it. I really do. What's also interesting is so the zodiac is divided into masculine and feminine signs. Half of the signs are feminine signs and half of the signs are masculine signs. What's interesting is that Taylor Swift's sun sits in a masculine sign. Sagittarius is one of the masculine signs. And so, and his sun is also in a masculine sign. Libra is one of the masculine signs. So there's between the two of them, There's a lot of BDE going on here. A whole lot. I think
Big
what's
dick
really
energy
helping
for those of you who don't know what that is.
I think what's helping their connection significantly, she does that in terms of feminine energy, she does have a nice Cancer stellium that balances things out. Cancer is one of the feminine signs and it includes her moon. So she does bring a nice amount of that receptivity to the table. Capricorn is another feminine sign, and she has a stellium in Capricorn that includes Uranus, Mercury, Neptune, and Saturn, all different aspects of her personality, including her consciousness. That's Mercury. So she's her own personal blend of like masculine and feminine, and Travis Kelce is too. He has some feminine energy here in Cancer as well. Jupiter, Chiron, and Ceres are hanging out here. He also has the Capricorn stellium, Uranus, Saturn, Vesta, and Neptune. So major counterbalancing here where they are the like puzzle pieces. They do fit together in terms of their masculine and feminine energy in their own unique way. So, really cool stuff. What questions? Do y'all have any questions about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? Like, y'all want to know, like, I don't know, like where their careers are going, or if they were to get married, like when that could be, or what their sex life is like. Like, do you have questions? Like, sorry, that's probably none of our business. I hope they never listen to this, but
I know Taylor
I
Swift is
could,
subscribed. She's on the live right now, actually.
she's my
She,
BFF. Don't talk about her like that. But yeah, we can totally see like wounds or shadow sides that people bring into a relationship with astrology. We can also see um if people kind of come in codependent or if they come in a little bit like dismissive avoidant. We can see like if they've got mommy issues or daddy issues, we can see that in astrology. Um, all of the stuff we can totally see. Let's see. Yes,
someone
Beauty Brandy,
asked,
I do chart readings.
how can you make a synastry connection work if someone has more feminine placements and the other person is balanced?
That's a really good question. First of all, it sounds like a very cozy connection, Michelle. Sounds like y'all are gonna cozy up with cats, tea, and the Golden Girls. But I would say one of the best things you can do is just be yourself, honestly. Oftentimes when I've seen like frequently in any connection, whether it's two women, two men, a trans woman and a man, a trans man and a woman, two trans people together, all of the gender spectrum. It doesn't really matter where you fall on it, but what I have seen for sexual chemistry and magnetism to work, there needs to be some level of vibrational opposition in the two people's energy. Someone needs to anchor or hold more receptive energy, and someone needs to anchor or hold more outward directed energy. And so, whoever's going to do that, that's fine. You can do that by conscious agreement if you want, and take turns, trade off. If you want to have that discussion, I've seen that work for some people. Other people need something that's less discussed and a little bit more um, primal, a little bit less conscious. They need things to happen a little bit more instinctively. And so, in those circumstances, it is good to, just be really clear with your partner. Like, I love it when you initiate with me physically, like physical intimacy, stuff like that. Just be very communicative about what you like and what turns you on. Otherwise, I have found even though if the polarics fall too much between two people, between as like both of them are just in more yin, receptive, reflective energy, like the moon. I have found sometimes the sexual chemistry can fall flat, and that makes for a fabulous friendship. But if you're trying to keep chemistry alive, eh, That one can be a little bit more of a challenge. Okay. Great question, though. Other questions that you see here. Oh, did I lose you, Aso?
No, I'm right here. I'm just like I'm in my I'm in my mind palace.
Nat Cross asks, what are they going to argue about when they're hungry? They're going to argue about ranch, mayo, or raw dog in it. Let's see. One of the
I
things that
think
I
their
think is
arguments
really,
would actually be really interesting, just given like who they are and like just their
I
world. Like,
agree.
could you imagine like, no, I want to take the private jet at this time.
I think you're kind of right. I think based on what I'm seeing with his Mercury in or her Mercury inside of Capricorn and his Mercury inside of Virgo, I think both of them think they probably have the corner of the market on what's right. Like this, I think oftentimes they do agree, but when they disagree, they really have a way of thinking the other person is just wrong. And if they just explain it well enough, the other person will come around. I think Travis Kelsey thinks he probably needs to explain it a lot given the Virgo placement. And I think Taylor Swift thinks she just needs to be patient and he'll figure it out that she's right. Um,
I love that. Good for her.
yeah. Well, Mercury and Capricorn. Now, the one thing about it, though, is that Uranus is conjunct. And remember, we talked about this when we were talking about major changes and love. Uranus brings surprises. And so, with Uranus and Mercury, her consciousness sitting together in her chart, sometimes she can think really fast, like really fast. Uranus and Mercury are making a connection in his chart too, called a square. And so when I see Uranus and Mercury in communication in two people's in an individual's chart, typically, this is a person who can get very bored with the mundane things easily. I know some of you are like that here. Like you've already jumped out the chat, you've come back. How are they doing? You listen to things on double speed when you're listening to content. Like
Me.
your brain can move really fast. I think when I looked at your chart last, you do have something similar to this
I have
last time
Sun
I
conjunct Mercury. Is that it?
I think so. I think it's Sun and Mercury. Although I suspect Uranus is maybe making an angle because your brain works really quick. So it's possible. I have I have Mercury and Uranus speaking in my chart too. They're in a trine and water. So I can make sense of emotions and read emotions very, very quickly. I don't always like what I'm reading, and sometimes I can stay a little too in the head instead of being, in the emotional space. But like I can process very, very quickly with my emotions for that reason. These two process their third dimensional world very, very quickly. Like the two of them, like when it comes to making a decision to, like, let's say buy a house and what island they want it to be on and when they're gonna have kids, like these two can like make decisions about that and the finances related to it rather rapidly. And I think this is probably what they both find intriguing. They've probably said to people in each of in their own individual lives, "Oh my God, she can really keep up." Or she has said to her friends, "He's so smart. Like he can really keep up." Whenever you see Mercury and Uranus together in a person's chart, we're talking about genius, people whose smarts are like light years, like above and beyond. So, yeah, these two probably really like it about each other. Okay, cool.
Love it.
Yeah, so I if they argued, it could be about anything. I just think the argument's gonna go like a little bit of like them both thinking that they're right. Which I don't know, that could really the stubbornness in that could become problematic. Mm. Blue Feather Medicine asks, what's good sexual compatibility in a chart? Let's see if they have any. So we're gonna check out Travis Kelce's Mars. I love that it's conjunct his sun, kind of classic for athletes. Also, great position if you're of the male persuasion, because we're still under the cultural conditioning that men should be very masculine. And our societies really support Martian type men, men who are very Martian-y, like outward projective motion, ambitious, take action types. Our society really supports that at this time. So you can see he's very supported for being that kind of man. Works really well at this time on planet Earth, balances out some of the feminine energy we see with his moon being linked to her sun. And let's check out her Venus. Ooh, okay. So her Venus is in Aquarius.
I love
Okay.
that about her because you just know she loves interesting people. Like,
Hmm. She does love interesting people because she's an interesting person with Venus in
of course.
Aquarius in the first house. So with Venus, her Venus connected to his Mars, both of them in air signs, I would say one of the things that turns the two of them on about the other is that they're a bit sapiosexual. They can talk and talk and talk and talk, and the talking really turns them on. Like being able to talk to one another and hear each other's thoughts. I think there's probably a lot of intrigue between the two of them about what the other person's thinking, and they're not used to having someone, like I said, that can keep up. When you have Mars and Venus in complementary elements or in the same element, right? So you have your Mars or your Venus in water. And then the other person has their Mars or their Venus also in water. That is probably the first. Same sign is the best. Same element is second best. Complementary element is third best. So, complementary to water, we have earth, and complementary to fire, we have air. Those two element pairs go together. So yeah.
How do their
Travis and
north
Taylor
nodes
Swift are
interact?
spicy. Did you see
Spice
what the Park
Island
Davis
just
wrote?
refuses to die. She's like, no, Spice Island forever. I think Spice Island.
North nodes. Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry, I was being responsible.
well, because they were born in the same year, they share a north node. And so her north node is at 17 degrees of Aquarius. His north node is at 24 degrees of Aquarius. They're both learning about collectives and being part of groups. They're both learning about um, kind of justice and fairness in certain ways. They are also both in this lifetime learning about being forward moving and progressive and taking risks and chances to do new things, quantum leaping forward. So, in this regard, because they have the same North Node, that means they have the same lifelong lesson and a lot of the attributes that go with that lesson. With that, it means that their life is going to present to them the same kind of risks and opportunities, and they'll be able to support each other to move toward making their best decisions for their personal growth because they'll understand each other and what they need to do. Unfortunately, when you both share a south node, sometimes the two of you can really keep one another in your old energy. Um,
Mm.
it's really easy to kind of validate and justify one another's reasons for staying in the south node. Like you guys can get into that conversation with one another called, am I the asshole? And it we
Am I
know
the
the
problem?
conversation, right? Taylor Swift wrote a song about it. And
Yeah.
un unfortunately, Travis Kelce is the kind of person who might all too easily at times say, no, babe, you weren't crazy for asking for six different sauces for your French fries at the drive-through. They should have just honored it. And you're like, "Boo, it's a drive-through. Please get your sauce and move out the way. Have six sauces out," right? Like he can kind of validate some of her blind spots and vice versa. And that sometimes isn't always helpful. So, yes, everybody wants some fries. I want some fries. Angels on Earth want some Big Mac.
Should we move into Q&A?
I'm in. I mean, I was like checking the chat as I went just to see did anybody have any Q&A.
I saw earlier. I don't know. I'm just trying to I'm not gonna lie, my brain is not braining at full capacity because I've read for a while today.
Uh,
But yeah,
yeah.
I was just curious, since they have us here, do you guys have any questions for us about anything we've talked about, tarot, astrology, like, you know, we're here. So now's your moment. Or if you want to
Cherry
talk about
asks,
sauce, if you want to be lost in the sauce, we can do that too.
literally. Cherry asks if you have up to nine placements that are the same as somebody else's, is that an indication of a twin flame? I would say not necessarily a twin flame, but I would say there's going to be a lot of compatibility and like simpaticoness between the two of you. And that can play out as a friendship. I've definitely see parents and children have that. Like my mother's moon and my father's sun are both my sun sign. And so there's like, we simultaneously, of course, love each other and get on each other's fucking nerves. So there's that. Um, Emma Little
Erica,
says, "Oh,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
Yeah, no, you go."
Erica is asking, what advice would we give on someone who's in change in all fronts of their life? Where can I learn more about myself with all of this? Well, Erica, like based on the questions that you've been asking, like in the live, I mean, you've already indicated that you don't trust yourself. And I think that like a lot of what you need to be doing is sitting with yourself in a compassionate way and like really unpacking what's going on inside of you instead of just like looking for answers outside of you because that's going to leave you more confused and it's also going to be something that just makes it more challenging for you. Like if you're looking everywhere else but inside, like you're going to stay confused, my darling.
Mm, good questions.
If
Hey,
you're
Michelle.
just starting, start with like
Yeah,
small 3 question readings. Look for spreads that are about self
yeah.
inquiry. And just start, just try, just do it. Like, don't think about it, just do it. Get out of your head and just do it.
That's
Don't
a
listen to
really
my
good
fourth
way to
grade
put it.
teacher.
You know how we were talking about like Chiron and Air, Chiron in the North Node conjunction Aries. That is like the slogan of that energy. Just do it for sure.
Emma is
Absolutely.
asking, I kept consistently getting my energy in your love readings. What do you think about that? I think it could be mirroring, but I also think it could be like the universe asking you to focus on yourself, or it could just be you're drawn to your own energy. Maybe if you looked at a different pile, you would find your person in there. I think there's so many like potentials of what that could be. So, I mean, you really kind of have to ask yourself. And at the end of the day, like maybe it's mirroring, maybe it's Maybelline, I don't know, but there's a couple of different options there.
Girl, you're funny. I just love your sense of humor. That's why I watch your
I love
readings
yours
mostly because your
too.
humor. You're freaking funny. Okay. Um, Michelle asked, what are the possible positives of Mars square Pluto? I heard it's not too great. Yeah, I don't know about that, Michelle. There's shadow and light to everything. That's like saying, as a blanket statement, Geminis aren't too great. Well, there are Geminis who operate in the light, and there are Geminis who operate in the shadow, right? So when Mars is square to Pluto, that tension that the two of them create can sometimes really bring out it's like power has to come outward. It can't stay in. So there's no room for implosion. It's all explosion energy, but explosive power can get a lot of things done. So we had a major Mars and Pluto square in the summer of 2020. And it stayed there locked in for several months because Mars was retrograde. Now, that was the summer, I think it was like George Floyd got killed. We had all those protests. But the beautiful thing about that was that we saw people coming together united to take action on a singular issue that could potentially change lives for the better. Now, we saw people coming together, and yes, some people came together and did some very destructive things, but there were also people who came together and did some very productive things. Nothing is all good and nothing is all bad in astrology. I think it's important that we recognize that. And so, in your life, since that's in your natal chart, you have the capacity to be a highly productive person. Boredom is going to be a problem for you. Staying busy is incredibly important, and making sure you have an outlet for the ample energy that is always coursing through your energetic field. Okay. Hey, Aso, how you feeling, babe? Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'm a little like, whew.
It's 10 where we are,
Yeah, yeah,
and we have been kicking it together for a minute.
yeah.
So maybe now's
And
a good time to call it.
yeah, I definitely think though that we should like, you know, do another one soon
Okay, I'm in.
and
Yeah,
do
I'm
the
in. Y'all want to
eclipses.
talk about eclipses? Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. And then I think you
Okay.
guys, if you want to do a more like ask me questions directly, we can definitely do that and set up a time and I can sit down and just talk to you guys and I'd be happy to. I definitely thank God Kay was here for this. Thank you so much, Kay, for all of your lovely insight and information. Like blew my mind. Like she's so amazing. Please go subscribe to her. Please go support her. Please get readings from her. She is fantastic, so incredible. As you've seen in this reading, she's so entertaining. She explains things so well. And yeah, I just couldn't speak more highly of her. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. And I really hope that you got something out of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Kay. Do you want to say anything?
I just loved hanging out with you guys. You guys were a lot of fun. I do love to do astro stuff over on my channel at K Moon Astro. You can find me there, kind of just at the new and the full moon, sharing updates about what is going on in the energy. I also like to do updates specifically about amazing astrological events, and we have like a lot of them this year. I just put my link in the chat. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but yeah, it's just at kmoonastro.com. I have a community that people are joining right now called Star Club. If you're curious and you like this kind of conversation, you can come kick it with me there. The link is on my website at kmoonastro.com. And I'll just share the link with ASO before, so she can put it in the description box. If you like hanging out and doing this kind of stuff, feel free to join Star Club. It would be amazing to have you. You guys, if you haven't already given this video a thumbs up on your way out, please do show ASO's channel some love. Help her content circulate. We always appreciate that. And yeah, if you're an astro nerd like me, now you know where to find me. It's a lot of fun to be here with you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. You guys made it so much fun. Like my chat is so chaotic. I'm obsessed with it. We need to do more lives. Like it's so saucy in here. Like I think this is the first sauce I like.
It's because you parked everybody on Spice Island earlier today.
No, no, I don't like spices. It's sauces.
Now it's Sauce Island. Okay.
No, no, oh wait. Oh my God. I'm so brain fried. I literally forgot about spice. Like that's that's where we're at with my cognition right now. Like I'm hanging in there.
And on that note, I think it's a wrap, guys. Thanks everyone for being here, and we'll see you both on our respective channels very soon. Have a great night, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.